Okay, pile number 3, Selenite. So I just want to apologize to pile number 3 because I previously recorded your cards and it just, unfortunately, the video didn't work out, so I had to pull some new ones. So we'll see what you have here. Okay, just give me a minute while I look over your cards. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting is that somebody's going to be working with people maybe regarding their professional life, so helping them in business. I'm feeling maybe a life coach, because I feel that that you're going to be helping someone, or a bunch of someones, I should say. You're going to be helping them to see their true potential. So I have the teacher card reversed, and to me, I'm just kind of feeling that not necessarily a teacher, but someone in their life, in these people's lives, have told them that they're not good enough, that they wouldn't amount to anything, or they could have just tried to prevent these people from moving forward, maybe with a business idea or going to school. Not because they don't love them, but just because maybe they're mirroring their own fear. They're putting their own fear onto these individuals. So they haven't had a lot of support, and that's keeping them stuck. So you could be a life coach, you could be a counselor. There's many different things, professions that you could be in, but you're helping someone, and it doesn't have to be helping them with their business or helping them to choose a career. You could be a career counselor, but whoever you are helping, they're feeling stuck because they haven't received enough encouragement. They've been told in their past that they wouldn't amount to anything, or, something of that nature. And I feel like this has happened to all of us at some point, because I remember the amount of people that asked me if I could actually do what I'm wanting to do in my life. And I was really shocked at the number of people that would say that to me. It was about 98% of the people that I told of what I wanted to do. So needless to say, I stopped telling people and just moved ahead quietly. I'm still working on it. There's still a lot of people that I don't know what I want to do. But sometimes when we share our hopes and our dreams with people, they can put a damper on them. They can take the wind out of our sails. And I feel that whatever profession that you are going into, or that maybe you're in, you are helping those people with encouragement. You're helping them to see the end goal. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And then helping them with the baby steps to get there. Okay. Now this also says personal, so It could be that you're a personal trainer. I'm feeling personal trainer a little bit because I've experienced this myself. I was overweight for the majority of my life, and I've had people tell me that, Jenna, you'll never be thin. You're always going to be, you're just a wider girl, a bigger girl. It could even just be that you're never going to be this. And you're telling them, yes, you can be. You just need to stick to it, and this is the plan that we're going to do. So I'm definitely feeling personal trainer, life coach, counselor for that. Definitely something to do with business. I don't know much about business, but you could be coaching people. Consultant. Okay, I just heard consultant. So a business consultant helping those who are just starting out. And it can be really overwhelming when you're starting a business. All of the little things and the big things too that you need to do, helping them. You're giving them advice. You can also help them to break it all down into smaller parts. That's what I'm getting. Break it down into smaller parts. Don't focus on the huge picture because it can be overwhelming. Okay. Overwhelming. Okay. So these individuals have had a dream, a big dream, but it's overwhelming. There's so much to do to be able to achieve it. They don't think that they can. And then they have these people come around and say, well, you shouldn't do that, or you wouldn't be good at that, or even just saying something slightly negative about maybe the profession that they want to go into. And then that just completely, they're like, oh, okay. And then they stop pursuing their dreams. So yeah, I'm really feeling business though. It can be personal, but business. So somebody might want to start a certain business and they need to go to school to get a diploma or degree. So you're helping them, okay, let's look into these schools. What do you need to do to be able to get into these schools? Do you have these credits in high school? If not, where can we get them? So you're helping them out. It's more than just a one-on-one conversation, I feel. Some of you might be a mentor. Consulting. For some reason, they're showing me people doing Skype calls. Oh, okay. I know that there's this one girl on YouTube that I've watched before, and she has this program that you can purchase, and once a month she'll do a Skype call with you and talk about your progress and give you advice about, because she's built up her own business, she does workshops, so she's helping others to be able to do the same. So maybe that's what you're doing, something along those lines. Even if you're a counselor, and I'm kind of feeling social worker, helping them move forward when others told them that they couldn't. Okay. I want to talk about social worker right now. Now, I personally have struggled with depression before in the past, and it was really bad, to be honest, and I had the worst anxiety. I'm better now, but I did try to have, I was recommended by a counselor that I had a social worker. And I had one come for a little bit, but they just kept being promoted, or then one went on mat leave, so I didn't have them for too long. But what they would do, they would just come into my home and talk to me, and we talk about my progress. And I also do this with I did this with my counselor. I haven't seen her in many years, but okay, what's our progress? What do we want to do? So they would help me I have social anxiety. If I needed to go get groceries, they would take me. If I needed to go see the doctor, they would take me. Well, I didn't have my driver's license, so they were offering to help me out with that. I remember there was a workshop that I wanted to go to for women to get into the trades, because for a while I had no idea what I wanted to do, and she offered to take me. So I didn't end up going, but because by that time I changed my mind. But you could be a social worker to help people get unstuck. That's what I'm feeling. Okay. I just noticed in one of these pictures, the teacher has a globe, but it's cut open. It's like she opened it, and then all of these smaller bits are coming out. And then there's polka dots. Yeah, I'm really feeling. And there's quilts. Okay, yeah. Yes. Okay. So I'm really feeling you're breaking things down for people. You're helping them step by step. It's all about the steps, because it's so easy to just say, okay, well, you can do this. But you're, okay. Yeah, it's so easy to tell somebody that you can do something, but it can be so overwhelming. Okay, what was I? Oh, okay. So some of you might be writing a how-to book. That's what I'm getting. Because with me, they just showed me the law of attraction, and some of you might be doing something involving that. Maybe you have used the law of attraction to change your life. So maybe this was you. Maybe somebody, all these people told you that you couldn't do this. You couldn't be a singer. You couldn't be an actress. You couldn't go to school. Girls shouldn't be this. Boys shouldn't be that. Blah, 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 whatever. Maybe these people have told you that you couldn't do this. But you decided to persevere, and you did it. You manifested your dream life. And there's so many people out there on YouTube that have blogs that talk about the manifesting and the law of attraction and how they changed their lives. It doesn't even have to do with the law of attraction, to be honest. It could just be this, you see actors and actresses, and it's like, oh wow, that's amazing. But how did they get there? Okay, we're looking at where they are now, but we haven't considered how they got there. Okay, so I have two things there. One, again, the how-to book. How did you change your life? Or you could be talking about different celebrities, different people in a variety of industries, right? So maybe fashion is the industry that you choose. You could choose a bunch of them, but say, how did Coco Chanel get to where she became so famous, and how did this person get here? What were the steps that they took? Did they have a morning ritual? I see that a lot. What did they do? Did they break it down into steps? Help people see the in-between. Yeah. Okay. I want to go back to counselor a little bit, or also writing a book or doing interviews, something like that, about people that we look up to. So celebrities, people who are famous. Okay, they're showing me Instagram. How we look up to people and the lives that are being projected. So we're seeing the perfect hair, the perfect makeup, the perfect body. All right? We're seeing they have a huge house, they're dating the most attractive, famous person, the job that they have, I'm feeling more it's the job, but all of these aspects, That's all we're seeing. But you don't know that it took them 3 hours in the makeup chair to look like that, and it's airbrushed, and you don't know how hard they work out to have that body, and again, in pictures, airbrushed. You don't know if that relationship is actually a high vibrational relationship. They could fight all the time. So somebody's going to be doing something with that, in that aspect. But then, see, I keep getting a bunch of different messages. But you're showing the in-between. Because, I wish I could remember this quote. But it's something like, it's like comparing yourself to someone else's. So if you're at the starting line and you're comparing yourself to somebody who's already finished, right? Who has reached their goal. But you still have to go through the process. You're not seeing that they had to struggle through it. So you could be showing the struggles that people have gone through. Ah, okay. They're showing me the movies, what is it called? There's been a couple of movies that have come out. One about Elton John. I wish I could remember the name. Rocket Man, maybe? It was a good movie. And also about... What's his name? Oh, okay. Yeah. Judy. The movie about Judy Garland. So somebody could be making a movie about someone or a bunch of someones. They don't necessarily have to be famous, but they're showing me famous people. And showing their life. Because when I watch those movies, oh my gosh, like hard to watch. Very difficult to watch in some parts. Very sad. So all you're seeing is the glitz and the glam, right? You're not seeing all the hardship that they went through. It doesn't necessarily have to be like about that, but I'm getting that too. Like this is just, I just keep getting a bunch of different things. Showing all the different pieces. Ah. Okay. I'm seeing, there's a picture behind the teacher is a blackboard, and it's got like equations and stuff, and everything's written out. Show your work. I'm doing a math class, so we have to show our work, right? You can't just give the answer. It can't just be, okay, well, this is this. No. The in-between. So you're either helping people with the in-between, breaking down the pieces to get there, or you're showing people the in-between, how you did it, how celebrities have done it. Show your work. Show your work. The thing about Instagram and about the media, I don't know if somebody is going to be exposing some things. Not necessarily exposing, why am I saying exposing? Exposing the realities. Oh, okay. Of how only looking at the final product, how that affects us mentally. I think it's in the UK, I read this briefly, that they were thinking about you have to put on Instagram or any other source, I think it's more Instagram, that if you Photoshop any of your photos of yourself, then you have to put that you Photoshopped it. Because seeing images like that all the time, we're constantly bombarded with these images, seeing that all the time, that affects us mentally. So you could be a mental health counselor helping with that. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, so seeing magazines and everything, that has deeply affected me. But to grow up with Instagram and Facebook all the time, I just couldn't. I had to delete my Facebook because I was constantly comparing myself to other people. So I feel that somebody might be helping individuals with that. Okay. I'm also getting something else in. Someone is going to be helping those who cannot speak for themselves. Because they're showing me in one of these pictures, there's a woman and you can see her face and she's holding hands of two others who have their backs turned. You can't see their face, but she's holding their hands. To me, she's helping. It's the mediator card. She's helping to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. And whether people have been silenced, maybe they need some self-empowerment to be able to speak for themselves. You can be helping them. But this is kind of weird. But in the God card, God is wearing a robe. And there's something else on it. But to me, it looks like there's 3 pigs. 3 pigs. And I also saw a little animal here in the image. Someone is going to be speaking for animals. You're going to be helping to advocate for animals. Those who cannot speak for themselves. So whether you're speaking up for animal rights, you could be drawing attention to factory farming. I'm seeing cows, dairy cows especially, bringing to people's attention, how are they always producing milk? Has anyone ever thought about that? As a woman, when you have a child, you can breastfeed them, some, not all, but then you stop breastfeeding your child and your milk production is done. So how do cows consistently produce milk? And I don't want to really talk about that right now, but yeah. So somebody is going to be speaking up for animals. Dairy cows. I'm seeing pigs. I'm not really seeing dogs or cats, more domesticated animals. This is more farm animals, I'm feeling. Okay, they're showing me deer though. It's almost hunting season. You could be speaking up against hunting. Oh, okay. Okay. They're showing me, I used to live out west, briefly, in Alberta, and along the highways and the roads, they have these bridges covered in grass for the animals to cross so that they can cross safely. So maybe that's part of why they're showing me deer. Conservation, wildlife conservation. Okay. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. There could be a certain animal that you want to speak up for. Turtles. They're showing me turtles. Oh, God, don't show me that. Lobsters. Seeing them in the grocery store makes me cry, like, every time. I can't look at them. And how they're treated. So I won't go into huge detail. Oh, horses. They're showing me wheels. I'm seeing wheels. Horses. Horses on farms. Oh. Okay, they're showing me those horses that do the carriage rides. in Central Park, or it doesn't necessarily have to be Central Park, but that's where I've seen them on TV. But the horses that do the carriage rides, and people don't think about how long has that horse been working. Are they getting water? Are they getting food? They must be tired. Okay. A lot of times we don't think about animals as having feelings. They're showing me insects. They're just pests. We don't consider their feelings. We do this with others too, with humans. We're not considering their feelings. But you don't know the story. Okay. You don't know. Anyways, that's gonna... The struggles. This is kind of reminding me, I can't remember if it was pile 1 or pile 2. Advocating for those who cannot speak for themselves, telling their story. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that. Okay, they're showing me documentaries. I think one's called Forks Over Knives. I haven't personally seen it because those kind of documentaries I can't watch. I've seen some videos and I can't. I love animals way too much to see them in that much pain. That's why I want to be a veterinarian. Spoiler alert. I just want to help them, but they... Oh, okay. Okay. The in-between. Remember when I was talking about that at the beginning? The in-between. How I said with celebrities, we only see the final product, right? We don't see what happens in between. They're talking about this for animals too. So you see a cute little animal, you see a pig, you see a cow. You don't see what happens to them in the in-between. Then you go to the grocery store, you got bacon, and you got a steak. And you're happy as whatever if you eat meat. You're not seeing all that they go through. You're not seeing the terror in their eyes when they're waiting to be slaughtered. You're not seeing... They're showing me... Okay, I'm not going to go into a big rant about this. But this, I'm really very, very passionate about this. They're showing me... Oh God, don't make me cry. Don't make me cry. They're showing me the trucks that they have. The transport trucks and how they have... It's kind of like the big cage. And they have the holes and you can see the bit of the animal sticking out, pigs, cows, what have you, being transferred. Often transferred to the slaughterhouse. They don't tell you that they don't feed them. I mean, I don't know fully, they might. Some of them might, but from what I've done, research that I've done, documentaries I've watched, they don't give them water. There's a lot of times in the summer that some of them will die from too much heat. In the winter, some of them freeze to death. And I don't want this to be a lecture, but I'm just trying to give you examples about we're not seeing the in-between. How are they being treated? Some of you are going to be helping with that. You could be exposing it. You could be making a documentary. You could be talking about it. You could even just be educating people about it, like through conversation. This is something that's really important. It's important to me. It's one of my... Helping animals is part of my life purpose. It's the main part of my life purpose. So this, I feel really passionate about this, and again, I don't really want to... Okay. Okay, they're showing me... Okay. showing me a cup of coffee, but it's upside down. Okay, so again with the in-between, showing this, the production, how does this happen? But now they're showing me that some of you might be doing this for those in other countries, in developing countries. Those who are, you're not seeing the slave labor, the child labor. You're not seeing all of these aspects to get your coffee. Not necessarily coffee. Fast fashion. They're showing me clothing. All of the products that we consume. Be more aware. Someone is going to help make us more aware. You can have several life purposes, by the way. Like I have, my main one is animals and then helping people. But I think this is something that we could all do. So whether this is your life purpose or not, some of it could be. But I mean, you could be really passionate about a cause and help with that. That's important. Blood diamonds. I think there's a movie about that. I have not seen it. But they're just showing me blood diamonds. I think there's a movie about it. Okay. Now this one, and they're also showing me, so I live in Canada, and growing up there were these little history moments, little commercials or clips, and they're showing me how they built the railroads, and they would take people and they had a jar of explosive, like it was for explosives, and I guess they were blasting a tunnel. But you didn't know how many individuals died from doing that. The wages that they're getting. Oh. Okay. Oh. Teacher. Somebody's going to be teaching this. Not necessarily as a teacher per se in a school, but you're teaching. They also show me residential schools, and it's Orange Shirt Day. The history. Oh, okay. Showing the history? Okay. So making sure that our history is still remembered. The terrible things that have happened to others in the past. Indigenous. They're showing me slavery. Making sure that more generations are aware of what has happened to help prevent it from happening. But it's also about the education. I only knew a little bit of residential schools, and this morning they had, I only caught a little bit of it, but they had some individuals who went through this. And so they took Aboriginals children away from their families, and I don't really want to speak too much about it because I still don't know a lot about it, but the stories that they told, I didn't know that had all happened. I knew that some of it did, but it's like when we are educated, and I think I talked about this in one of the earlier piles, so if you are drawn to that, and you're hearing about this now, that might be a big message for you. But, and I lost my train of thought. Being educated of what happens to others. That helps give us more compassion, more empathy, that helps us to prevent doing that to anyone else. We're not thinking about how others are affected by things. Animals, human beings, we're not thinking. They're showing me flies. Everyone on this earth has a purpose. Every living being on this earth has a purpose. Somebody's going to be helping to educate others about this. And it doesn't have to be the whole entirety. Again, with the pieces, even just one piece. Speaking up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Could be animals. You could be speaking about one species of animal. You could be speaking about insects and how they help the world. Interesting. They just showed me the wetlands. I remember in biology, like, the wetlands are so important, but they keep paving over them to build houses. Somebody could be even just speaking about the environment. The environment can't speak for itself. You could be talking about different races or cultures and how they've been treated in the past or how they're currently being treated, or both. Education. This has definitely been brought up before. But anyways, this is getting really long, guys. So, everyone. Is there anything else? Okay. They're showing me the wheel again. But I'm taking it as all of us, all living beings, to make this wheel go round, or this world go round, we need... They're showing me my biodiversity teaching and biology. But we're all needed to help this world go round. I think that's all I have for this group. I'm sorry, it was kind of all over the place. But that's sometimes what happens with the messages. Sometimes it's all at once, and other times it takes me a few minutes to get it. I hope that helped. I'm sorry if I went into lectures, but they're showing me specific things so I can try to give you the best message. But through examples, that's how I do. Okay? Thank you, pile number 3. All right, pile number 4, pink tourmaline. So I told pile number 3 this, but unfortunately the original video that I did of this did not work out, so I decided to pull new cards. So I hope that's okay with everyone. But I just wanted to make sure that I'm giving you the best message. And I just intuitively felt like pulling new cards. Okay, interesting. Okay, just give me a few moments. Okay. Where was that last time? Okay. Okay, so the first thing that I'm getting with these cards is that somebody might be working with men or young men, or you could be helping to educate okay, so the first thing that I'm getting, it's about how as a society how do I want to put this? They're showing me, so there's a lot of masculine energy in here. And I'm seeing someone who is crying but trying to shield it with a mask. And the first thought that I had is that how we as a society, how we've been programmed to think that men need to be really tough and that they shouldn't show feelings, and toxic masculinity. So I feel that some people might either be helping men. It doesn't necessarily need to be men, but I'm feeling more of that masculine energy, helping those to work through their emotions, deprogramming them from this. You could be working with younger children. It doesn't have to be just men. It could be any gender, anyone. But teaching them, reprogramming them in a way that it's okay to feel your emotions. It's important to feel your emotions. Teaching us to not wear the mask. So teaching true authenticity. How to be your true self. They're showing me this guy, and to me, he looks like Freddie Mercury, which is, I was going to talk about him in the last pile, and his name escaped me for some reason. Oh. Okay. They're showing me the relationship with his father in the movie. And they're also showing me, I'm seeing a man and a child. So how the relationship with the father, of someone's father, affects them. Not necessarily, but I'm feeling this, it doesn't necessarily have to be about sexuality, about maybe being afraid to be your true authentic self. Okay. But I am feeling that, because they just showed me someone will be helping others with their sexuality and maybe showing their true selves to their loved ones, to other individuals. They're showing me YouTube. I've seen videos where people have come out to their parents. Okay. So that's not the word I want to use, though. They they're showing me role model, but I, like, if you have been through a situation like this, maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be about your sexuality, but you were hiding something, and I'm feeling it's more about sexuality though. Hiding your true self and then showing people or telling people this is the real me. Showing them how you did that. Okay. So they said role model, but you're inspiring others to take that step. And again, it doesn't have to be about sexuality, but there's a portion of you that this is about. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. People who are afraid to be their true selves from what their family, their loved ones might think of them, especially the father, what people are going to be saying about them. We have gossip. Gossip. Betraying confidences. Oh. Okay, so I'm getting a couple things here. So you could be helping to inspire those who feel like they have a secret, or something that's weighing on them. Who they truly are, they feel like they can't be that. And helping to inspire them to be their true selves. And not be afraid of what other people are going to think, especially their family or friends. But I'm also getting betraying confidences, and I'm looking at the crying face. So you could be helping those who maybe have come out about their sexuality, and they unfortunately, maybe their loved ones were not supportive about it, right? So you could be helping them through that. Or somebody betraying confidences. So maybe they told someone in confidentiality. Oh, okay. Maybe they told someone in confidentiality, but they told. I'm also getting for that army. The whole don't ask, don't tell thing bullshit. Sorry. Doesn't necessarily have to be the army, but somewhere where being whoever that they truly are, they're not allowed to be. And even just saying in confidence to someone that they trusted and them breaking their trust. For some reason, I feel like somebody could have been fired for this. Not necessarily fired, but kicked out of a group. They could have been. You could be helping them. You could be a lawyer, helping them to get justice. You could be a counselor, helping them through this. You could just be someone who has gone through this and are telling your story, educating the public. Teaching people how to be their true, authentic self. Normalizing. Okay. So this doesn't necessarily have to do with sexuality, but it could. But putting your story out there, showing Okay, showing your true self. The more people that show their true interests, their true self, and make it public, it doesn't have to all be public, but you're making it more, that's kind of, I feel like this is an oxymoron, but you're making it more normal to be different. You know what I mean? There's more, I don't want to use that word. Understanding, there we go, that's a better word. More understanding. And if we were all the same, that would be so boring. So, putting it out there. Okay, so this might not be necessarily your life purpose, this part. Okay? But what I'm feeling is there's something, and you might already know what it is, and I'm looking right at you, that you're afraid to put out there. Maybe it's art that you do. Maybe it's writing. It could be anything. Maybe you have this cool idea for a business, but you're afraid of what people will think about you. You know, I was terrified to tell anybody that I like to read cards, and some of the people that I told totally shocked me in how they reacted so amazingly. And I mean, that's just a little thing, but the fear of what other people will think hold us back, right? So, I lost my train of thought. I got so excited about this. But this, you know what your life purpose is. Some of you, I'm talking to somebody right now, you know what your life purpose is, but you're afraid to do it. You are afraid to do it because you're afraid of what your father, your mother, somebody, an authority figure, what your friends might say, what your spouse might say. You're afraid of how you're going to be viewed. But you don't need to worry about that. There are so many different people out in the world that like different things. You will find your niche. And, okay. They're giving me an example, and this isn't necessarily what I'm speaking about, but the example that they gave me was when I was going through depression, I started taking antidepressants, and I was really ashamed of it. I was so ashamed. I just felt like there was something wrong with me, and that I was the only person that ever went through this, which is ridiculous, but that's how I felt. And I remember being at work, and somehow I ended up telling this one girl that I worked with, and she was kind of like a negative person. Like, I didn't feel like she necessarily liked me, but when I told her, she's like, oh, I'm on that too, and then she like brightened up, and we had a better relationship after that. But the whole thing there was, I was like, oh, you mean I'm not the only one? Okay. And then my mom started telling me that there was this person that she knew that was on it, and that like told her to tell me so that I would feel better about it. And it just, all of a sudden, there was this array of people in my life that were like, oh yeah, you know, I've taken them too. So to me, that normalized it in a way. I don't think that's the right word, but it made me feel like I wasn't an outcast. I don't know. I'm not getting the best words for this, but I just felt so ashamed. And then to have them say, oh, me too, you know, I've also gone through this. Sorry, I'm just getting something. But that made me feel better about myself. So you could be, by coming out with whatever it is, whatever product or whatever it is that you're not sure about, you could find your people through that. You could find your niche. I remember they were showing me knitting. There's a lot of young people who love to knit. And before, it probably would have been seen as something that only a grandma does, and that it's weird, but it doesn't matter. There's going to be someone out there, a lot of people out there who like the same things that you like, who've experienced the same thing that you have or similar. So don't be feeling like you're in this alone. You're not in this alone. So don't be afraid to be who you truly are. I don't think I need to do that, to give that example. But okay, the examples that they keep giving me are about my mental health and about how I felt different in my life. So I'll give you another example because they keep showing it to me. So I remember being on Pinterest and seeing that there was a quote from Keanu Reeves, and he said something about how he felt out of place in this world, or I'm paraphrasing, so but it was basically how he felt that he was from a different era, and just basically that he felt different, like other people kind of out of place, I guess. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but just reading that, you have no idea how amazing I felt from reading that and just being like, oh, frig, don't make me cry. Oh my God, that's how I feel, and somebody else feels like that. I've grown up my whole life feeling different. I didn't know what it was, but I felt different. And even though I had friends, I always faked who I was. I felt like I always had to fake who I was so I could fit in. So I didn't want people to know the true me because I was afraid that people wouldn't like me. And it's hard growing up with a mask. I think we all do this. But by having those people, Keanu Reeves, those people that my mom knew, the girl that I worked with, say, hey, I've been through this too, or, you're not the only one. That is what helps us to heal. That's what helps us move forward. So you could just be telling your story, and that's helping other people. You could write an ebook. They're showing me ebooks. So if you're not sure how to get your story out there, write it out. You might have already. And make an ebook and put it on let's just put it on YouTube. Put it on Amazon. You could put it on YouTube. You could put your story on YouTube. You could do little videos telling about your life and how like all the struggles that you've been through, how you've gone through all of this and can now be your true authentic self. Or you could film your journey of how you're doing it. I'm always going towards YouTube. I don't know, for some reason. But your story matters. That's what I'm getting. Your story matters. Because you're helping someone else. You are helping someone. They're showing me the stars. You're giving someone hope. So you might not think that your story is significant, but it is. It could be about mental health. It could be about your sexuality. It could be a combination of a bunch of different things. It could just be how you were told that you couldn't do something and you did it. But that helps people. You were afraid of what people might think. Maybe people did say bad things about you. How did you get through it? They're showing me high school bullying. You could have gone through this in high school and now you're talking about it, and someone who's going through high school is going through something like it, showing them that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. That's it. And that's it. I always felt that way with my depression. You know, I was so ashamed of it. And now it's like, if somebody wants to talk to me about it, I will talk about it. I want to do well in my life so I can show someone who's going through it that, hey, you don't have to live with depression the rest of your life. You don't have to live with social anxiety or anxiety for the rest of your life. And some people will tell you that that's the way it is. No, it's not. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You could be that for someone, that beacon of light, and say, hey, I know what you're going through right now is terrible. I've been there, and that helps just in itself. But to say, but look at me now. This is what I'm doing with my life. I did it. Somebody told me I couldn't do it. I did it. Someone told me I wasn't good enough. Look at me. Someone bullied me. Look where I am. That's what I'm getting from this. Now, they're showing me the Father card again. So it could be family. Having no support system. That's really difficult. It is really difficult if you don't have a support system. So by telling your story, you could be supporting someone who doesn't have anyone else. You could be a counselor helping. Oh, they're kind of like nudging me towards pile number 3. And in pile number 3, I was talking about helping someone basically like get from A to B. The little pieces, the steps in between. You could be helping them. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be working with them one-on-one. Again, if you were doing YouTube or having a book, you could say, these are the strategies that I did to get this far. Here are the resources. Sorry, my throat's dry. Here are the resources. If you need help, here's the kids' help phone number. This is where I went to. You can get, they're showing me, my counselor was free through my doctor. How, like, even just showing them the different support systems in their areas, how they might go about finding help. I'm feeling this for more mental health. But even if you're afraid to tell someone about who you are or you're not feeling the support, helping them find a counselor. Helping them know that it's going to be okay. One of the girls I watch on YouTube, Paranormal Priestess, I love her. Love her, she's amazing. And I might be paraphrasing, but she always says, from the heart of the darkness is born the light, and that's what they're making me feel right now. Because there's a lot of darkness in these, but then there's brightness here behind them. Sometimes when we go through our darkest times, that makes us a better person. And I know it doesn't seem like it in the middle, but I would never wish depression on anybody. Never, ever. It was horrible to experience. But I am grateful because it made me a better person. It made me have so much empathy for others and compassion. It made me a better person. It made me realize what's most important in my life. And that's when showing people, it could be hard for them to understand in the middle, if they're in the middle of it. But showing them that you came out as a better person, wiser, stronger, happier, healthier, more compassion, more empathy, hope. That gives them hope. Okay, I think... they're showing me the world. So giving hope to those all around the world. Okay. They're kind of giving me the feeling about sexuality and how sexuality is having different forms of sexuality other than that men and women are together, heterosexual partnership, other forms of sexuality. They're a little more accepted in the Western areas, but there are countries and other areas, even in the Western countries, that are not as accepting. So by showing this, you are helping those who are in areas who still feel like they have to hide even more so, who are afraid of for their lives, I'm hearing. Okay, afraid for their lives. But by being able to read about your story, by being able to watch your videos about your story, you can help them feel like they're being a little more themselves. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. I think the last thing I'm just going to say is they're showing me the gossip and the line of communication between the two. Oh, there's one right there too. Okay. But that one's clear. Yeah. So by telling our stories, by being our true, authentic selves, no matter what that is, you're helping to clear up the gossip in a way. Because remember I said that it would make it a little more normal to be different, which sounds like an oxymoron or something like that. It just doesn't seem to work. But when more people are like, hey, this is me. This is a thing. This is us. I'm thinking about a bunch of different things, so this probably doesn't make any sense to you. But like, hey, they're showing. I have that song in my head. I think it's Keela Settle. This is me. This is me. And by saying that and having more people say that, then the gossip can die down because there's more understanding, there's more acceptance, it's more normal. You know what I mean? The education. I'm all about the education if you've watched the other ones. But that's what I'm getting. And for those who are having difficulty with loved ones, I feel that you'll find your tribe regardless, and your family might come around. I have seen that with some of my friends, especially some of my friends who have come out and as gay to their family, and they weren't as accepting, but then they eventually started to come around. But their lives have changed since they've come out, and they've found their tribe. They've found their happiness. They can finally be themselves. And again, it doesn't have to be about sexuality, but I'm just giving that. If your parents, okay, they're showing me parents who want their child to be a doctor, but the child wants to be an actress, or what have you. So you want to go on a different path than what your family, your parents, your family, what people have set for you. And they're basically saying, once you follow your heart and pursue what you want to do, the people will come. Your family will come. Your family might come around. Once they see, okay, once they start understanding why you want to be this. In that example of a career. Or they just needed some time. Anyways, but the main message is once you start living your life authentically, you will attract more people who are authentic and loving and full of light and life, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a process. There's all these little pieces, like in the other one I'm noticing, all the little pieces. It can take a little bit, but you'll get there. And by showing people that you got there, for those who are going to be telling their story, you're helping them. You're helping other people. So anyways, this has been long enough. I think that's it. They're showing me stars though. I feel that whoever's working with this and wants to be their true authentic self, whether it's showing, hey, this is the business. Hey, I want to be a tarot reader. My word. Sorry, I messed up. But a tarot reader, there we go. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, thanks. You're going to shine bright. Okay. This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to cut this. But one of my favorite movies is Legally Blonde. I used to watch it all the time when I was younger. And that Watch Me Shine song, when Elle is talking to Warner, and she's like, I'm never going to be good enough for you, am I? And then the song starts, and she's like, I'll show you how valuable Elle Woods can be. And that, they show me that when I'm feeling that maybe somebody said something bad towards me, or life's just not going my way. They'll show me that one. And listen to that song, Watch Me Shine. I love that show. It's a good song. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say. But you can do it. Just be who you want to be. Be who you are. It's not necessarily easy to do, but take baby steps. Or maybe you have someone that you can confide in. Maybe it's just watching YouTube or reading books about someone who's gone through what you're going through, is going through it. Someone who wants to work in the field that you want to work in. Just have faith, and I hope this message helped somebody at least. If it did, please let me know in the comments. I really hope that you can all work towards being your true authentic selves. I think it's a journey. It's a journey. And I'm really, really proud of you guys for wanting to do that. It's important. It's important for all of us to start being our true authentic selves. So thank you everyone for watching. I love you guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.